Welcome to Louisiana Heartbeats. I'm Sudie Landry, and I'm excited today because we have something really special happening. This is the first time I'm actually honored to have a guest come on here that is not from our local area, but is visiting our local area. She is from Canada. Originally, her roots are from Italy, and I'm going to let her say her last name, but welcome author
Lory La Selva Paduano.
Lory, where are you from?
I am from Canada, Montreal, born and raised, with Italian background and parents, and I write books. I'm an author.
Well, I was excited because when she first came in, Katiana, she gave me 2 kisses, one on each cheek. That was really a blessing, and I'm like, let's do it again. It's awesome. I've been looking forward, Lory, to having you come here. You know, things kind of happen sometimes that try to stop us, but usually the more the fight, the better the story.
Exactly.
The story inside of the story, and your famous saying is, there's always 3 stories inside
That's
of a
right.
story.
That's right.
Lory has written several books, and the most important thing today is that she is visiting our area friends. She's been here before. She's enjoying all this good stuff happening, but we are here to talk about the book. But let's talk about some of that food you ate so far.
Excellent. Oh, gosh. I would have to say I'm not a crawfish fan, but, you know, the gator was great, fantastic. My son loved it, and the place is just booming, and I love it, and I love the people here. Very welcoming, that southern charm, and it just draws you in. Great place.
So you plan on coming back here in the future, maybe?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, today we're going to be doing one show with Lory, and we're hoping to let you know, give you information that if you're interested, then you can check out Lory's website that's going to be up there. In fact, it's up there right now. But let's start off. Lory has a story that has a testimony that a lot of people probably would not go on to be a well-established author. And the whole point is, for this show, is to showcase people's dreams, visions,
Absolutely.
successes, testimonies. And Lory has started something when she was 14 years old through all the tragedies that she was going on her journey, and I can understand some of those things she shared with me in a private email. So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to basically let Lory kind of take it from here. Lory, you started this series, Wonderland series, when you were 14 years old.
Yes, I did.
And then you stopped it. You want to kind of share with what's going on in your life, why?
My parents got divorced and I was really young, and bouncing back from one country to another. I lived in Italy. I frequented school in Italy, and I had siblings, my sister and my brother. And so the parents split up. And so from there, we came back alone, and my father was left behind. Now, being a daddy's girl, that was kind of tough on me, and I was the oldest, so I took it on really, really hard. And from there, I started running away from home, and I had problems at school, and my friends didn't understand. So it was a hard transition to go back from English to Italian, and then Italian back to English and French, because as your state speaks French, so do we in Quebec. And so it was just a hard period in my life, and I didn't understand it all. And going from one end to another, it was really like going from A to Z and learning things along the way. But it was hard. It was really, really hard. And so I started writing just to occupy my time and to put it all into perspective, because whatever was happening around me didn't make any sense, and it was hurtful. It was so hurtful. So I drowned myself in lyrics, and I drowned myself in poetry, and then I started writing short books like novellas. And so it just grew from there. But then I stopped.
Why? Just a sample.
Just being a teenager, I guess I was, I don't know, lost with the crowd and, you know, doing all sorts of stuff I shouldn't have been doing. But that taught me a lot in life, and it brought me to where I am today.
Well, that is a good point to make, Lory, because you see, bad things can never come out of something good. Good can always come out of something, you know, bad.
That's right.
And I see by reading some of your history before I got to start reading your book that you chose to create a different world. You chose to go on. And you and I have a lot more in common than you realize. different people have different journeys, and if we've gone down a journey and we have been victorious
Yes.
and come through,
Yes.
and we have survived it, usually we will go on to encourage others to pursue their dreams and use their talents, and they are someone special. We tend to be told we're nothing.
Yes.
Or made believe we're nothing, but it's up to us, the individuals, to realize that we are all somebody.
Yes, we do. And we
Special.
have to make other people feel that way too.
That's right.
Everybody's important and everybody counts and dreams are important. Whether they're big or small, you should chase them. You should. And you should put everything you have in it. And it's not about getting the biggest outcome. It's about your journey. And it's really discovering things along the way.
Well, adding to that, Lory, being the president of the Writers Guild of Acadiana, I went over there so that I could get interesting people like you to come on my show and
Thank you.
share their stories. Little did I know that I was going to become their president, and because of my big mouth and always loving a good story inside of a story, actually the Lord has opened up many doors for me to be able to help people get into the areas of publishing that they want to be. The Lord has sent in so many people that's aided in those categories. I mean, whenever I opened up the show, really, I am very honored that you have come on the show. I am so blessed with so many wonderful authors and artists that come on the show. They're even bigger than I could ever imagine.
Well, I'm happy
and I
to be
do.
here.
I mean, you only have one. I mean, you don't have just one book. You actually have 4 books at this time, and you are working on others.
Yes, I am.
Give us a brief Wonderland. Why did you choose that name? And it's 3 books
It is.
in one.
It
now.
is. Yes.
Okay.
The first book I wrote, Wonderland, A Quest for the Four Keys in Wonderland, it was actually a book I started when I was 14. And people would laugh at me and say, why are you writing a book? Well, that doesn't make sense. And I used to just shut them out.
Let's see those books.
And continue. But I didn't know a lot about life at 14. So when I started that book, I stopped because other things were happening in my life. And then I took it back up again. And I said, you know what? It's time to go back and it's time to finish that up. But once I was there, it became so natural. It was like an aqueduct overflowing. And it became just like my job to continue and just continue. And there was no stopping it, really.
So are we looking at any of the books up there now? Is the Wonderland series the one that looks like it has a crown on the front of it?
That's right, the bronze armor,
Okay.
which is very symbolic in the book. Once you
Okay.
get to book 2, you'll know why the bronze armor is there. My covers are usually, when we're talking about covers, it's inspired by a picture, and I work really hard around that to bring everything to life. But really, I'm inspired by pictures.
Lory, that book was actually 3 individual books that you now have put it into one book.
Right.
When did you first publish the other books, and when did this new one come out?
Okay, well, it's a funny thing, and it's ironic that today is August 19th.
Yes.
August 19th, 2013 was when A Quest for the Four Keys, the first book, came out, and it's kind of her anniversary today. And so we want to pay tribute to that. Happy anniversary, Wonderland.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then we came a long way. But I wrote, like I said, that book was written when I was 14. And what I really did was Beyond Wonderland was the book I wrote. And in 11 months, I had 3 books written.
Wow.
Yes.
When you started writing and picked it back up, you just started flowing. Isn't that amazing?
It was just overflowing. I couldn't stop it.
Well, I'm the author of nonfiction, which is true stories only, true happenings, and I share that with you. You are classified as a historical fantasy fiction. Is that what you were telling someone earlier?
Absolutely.
What is that for people who do not understand what that is, Lory?
Okay, well, what it is historic. When you're looking at the Wonderland series book, it's historical fantasy because it's got your dragons and your warlocks and your witches and so on. Of course, they're a little bit different than others, but historical. It's always there's a theme of medieval there, so you're going back and you're talking about the citadel and the castles and how it was all set up and how it was in the medieval times.
Okay, so that means there's facts in there mixed up with fantasy, which means that's part of your creativity as
Yes.
an author.
Yes,
Okay, so
I like distorting the truth. Sort of.
well, that's a good genre to pick up.
Yeah.
Yet there is some truth to it in certain
It's
areas.
fun. It's fun.
So you turned away from the streets of doing wrong, went back to your writing, And in between that, you have created a wonderful family. You did have some hardships, but right now,
I did.
I think that the breakthrough was what? You said you had had a huge breakthrough, and that was when?
Well, that
The
was.
Wonderland started it, I think, huh?
Yes, it did. And then my fan base started growing, and I saw that people were actually liking and on social media, I'm really active, and I gotta be because you always have to stay relevant. That's important. I got my personal friends, of course. They're always cheering me on, and even on the outsiders, the pages are doing so well now. The fan pages, like the High Priestess and the Wonderland series, and the legacy, the legend of a legacy. I mean, the legacy of a legend is coming out September 8th now, and that's an interesting approach to what happened in the past. Of course, again, it's historical fiction, and it all came together, and it's got so much purpose now in my life.
Okay, let's back up a minute. Let me see if I got this straight.
Yeah,
You did 3 books in 11 months?
I sure did.
Wow. Okay, so, and that was in the year 2013
That's right, and 14.
and 14, and in between 2014 and 15, you have now written, what is it?
2 books.
2 more books.
Yeah, which was the High Priestess and the Legacy of a Legend.
Okay, so for anyone that's interested to find out more about you, then you actually have a web page, which is going to be up there on and off as we are talking.
That's correct.
Go ahead and verbally say it, since it's not up there right now.
It's www.lorylaselva.paduano@weebly.com.
I love it when you say your name.
Thank
Only
you.
you can say your name right. Oh, wow. Well, listen, you're here in Acadiana, which is Lafayette, Louisiana, and you've been out on the town, and your friends are local here that you visit in Lafayette or surrounding towns?
Surrounding, of course, I have a very good friend here who's actually introduced me to you and
Oh,
the show,
right, okay.
and we know who that is. And yes, I do. And like I said, I always wanted to visit here, and it was important to. Pick up on the historical side as well, because after all, that's what I do.
That's it.
And so I'm really inspired by many things, and I think I'll be more inspired tomorrow when I visit the plantation I wanted to visit.
Okay, let's talk about that. What do you think you're going to get out of visiting the plantation, and what is the name of it?
It's Nottoway.
And?
Nottoway Plantation and Resort, and that is in White Castle, I believe.
Okay, well, hey, I don't know, but I've heard of it. That's why
Yeah.
I'm asking. Okay.
There's many things I wanted to see, but I can't. So we're going to do the mansions and the gardens, but it's just the feel of it. And like I said, I've always wanted to see that and experience that firsthand. It's important to me as a historical writer. Maybe I can implement it somewhere. I'm already inspired by many things here, and many things that I want to put in a book.
That's wonderful. Now, I want you, for someone like me and people that are out there, take us to Canada. What's it like to be there at this time of the season?
Oh, well,
The weather? Is
the-
it
the
anything
weather-
like ours?
Oh, yes, it is actually, but it doesn't last long.
Okay.
It's very humid, it's very warm. Maybe not as warm as here, but now we're having a heat wave, and it's really like in the hundreds. So it's
So
hot.
it's hot. See, I don't know. History was my weakest. I was never really interested in it, in any kind of historical or history thing.
Okay.
Until I became president of the Writers Guild, and so many authors were out there, and I began to interview them, and I'm thinking, okay, kids, while you're in school, you better get all you can, because later on you're going to regret that you didn't take that history lesson
No.
or take that French that you should have that you dropped.
I do,
all
and
that, you know?
and I think it's so important to have that background, and that it's also to educate a lot of people, because being on social media and being with around people all the time, you kind of get to know and get to see the feel of people and what they know and what they don't know, and it's nice. I like to bring some education to the table, so I think that's important.
Let me take you through back to the beginning, and this is always something that my viewers like, especially the writers. How did you go about getting your first piece of material published? Did you go through some trial and errors that you don't have to
Oh,
name? Did you find it was hard to trust someone with your work, stuff like that?
I sure did.
Okay.
What I did is I researched online, and I came up with a company that I thought was okay for me.
Okay.
For the Wonderland series, the first 3 books, that is, before I got with my publisher, which is now King Snake Publishing. and that didn't work out. It's a company that's being sued.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
hey, we find out with trial and error.
Exactly. And I met so many authors, and I made so many friend authors on social media talking about this ordeal now. And so we all got together and stuck together and said, hey, you know what? I'll help you. You scratch my back, I scratch your back, and everything's fine.
That's what real networking's about.
Yeah,
Helping
yeah.
each other, getting in the right clique, doing the right thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. And they're so respectful, and they're just such nice people to work with. And
Well, I follow you on Facebook now that you've asked me to be your friend.
yes.
And I really am amazed at the energy that you actually always put out there positive. Even if something negative might be happening in your life, you don't really put it out there. And I admire people that don't put the garbage out there, because it can be someone else out there that's getting fed information. They really need to be encouraged, and it's really bad if someone's out there saying stuff they shouldn't be saying. But so I just wanted to comment on your posting. You share what it's like to be out there. You share the excitement, you know, about your books coming out and everything, and you give an inspirational, once in a while, encouragement to others. And I love posts like that.
Yeah.
That really does a lot for who you are. It says who are you,
Well,
Lory?
I mean, you know, social media is really saturated with negativity.
Yeah.
So you want to, it's not a perfect world. That's not the image I want to
Nah,
give.
nah.
But I do want to inspire others to make their dreams come true, and to put it on a plate and say, hey, you know what? If she did it, I can do it.
That's
Why
right.
not? I mean, we're all the same. I'm no better than you, or you're no better than me. And I just want to keep that humble approach, because that's me.
That's right.
That's me. And I will never forget who helped me, or wherever this may take me. I won't forget.
That is the most important thing, is the trust and people who've actually been there for you. Is there any particular person you like to people say, give a shout out to and thank them for being
Actually, can I
supportive?
say a few?
Sure.
I'd like to give out a shout out to Don Mitchell, because he's the one who came up with this idea and introduced it to me many months ago. We've been working together since November. I owe a big thank you to him. And of course, a lot of people on and of course you, Sudie. I mean, wonderful to meet you, and it's an honor. It's an honor as well, really. And I'm blessed. I'm really blessed to be here in a place where I wanted to be, and a place where I'm welcomed.
Yes,
and,
yes.
And so I like that. But I want to give out a shout out to Mom.
All right.
Yeah, Mom.
Hey, Mom,
Yay.
she's going to be coming home with coffee for you.
And my sister, who's taking care of my kids right now, and my husband. I mean,
What about the gentleman that's in the studio waving? Me. Who's that?
And that's my son, and he's he's my baby. And he's great.
Sounds like he's very active and interested in what you're doing here.
Yeah,
too.
he's a lot like me. He's a cool kid.
You got a cool mom.
Yeah, I love him.
Hello.
He's good company, and he takes care of me, and yeah, he's my son.
So is he the only child you brought with you on this trip?
I had a trip 2 months ago, and we went to the beach and stuff. We went to Cuba.
Oh.
Yeah, because Canadian is very linked with Cuba, and that's a very favored destination for us. But and so I brought my 2 other kids. He didn't come because he had to attend school and work. So he got his chance now.
Okay, Lory, let me put you as a writer sitting. Where's your spot in your home that you like to write, or where's your outdoor hideaway when you're creating? Give us an idea what it's like to be an author, Lory.
Sometimes it's very noisy in the head. And yeah,
Okay.
it is. And you can be walking down the street. Oh my God, I got to write this down, and something will just pop. And sometimes I can see a white car driving by, and oh, it's white. Well, then I'm going to put this white horse in my story, and it's just little things like that get your brain working. And sometimes it happens at 3 a.m.
Yes.
And sometimes it happens at 6 a.m. and then you just got to get up and write. I usually write, I have a 2-story home, and I write in my basement, but it's very well set up, and it's like a big cubicle, and it's just for me. Whenever
Do not enter?
Yeah, kind of thing. But you know what?
Mom's cave.
Yeah, they enter anyway. They do.
I love to find out that. You know what, you just answered something. I've asked different authors off of television. You're the only one to ever ask on television.
Okay.
What I just asked you. And the fact is, as I was preparing this morning, I'm like, well, you have plenty to say, and so I didn't think there would be any kind of problem. Some authors come on here real shy. Like I said, by the time we get set up,
Yeah.
you get unnervous because we have all this technical stuff going on. But Lory, this morning I was thinking, okay, if I was a creative writer, what would I do? And I'm not a creative writer. I can be, but that's not my genre because it doesn't flow. I can write a story in 3 hours,
Wow.
the kind I do, okay? And I can crank them out, okay? But it's true happenings and memories and notes made and all this kind of stuff. But to be creative, I thought, okay, Lory is creative. I wonder if she goes to coffee shops and she watches people and she writes down this thing. And it's funny because I'd seen a movie and that's what one particular person did on there.
Yes.
And then I remember this guy, who I will not name, that I met on a bus. I took a bus ride just to see what it would be like to ride a bus instead of drive a car.
Right.
I enjoyed it. And there was this guy on there that I kept running into no matter where I went. And that's what he was doing, going from coffee shop to McDonald's, and he was writing. And so I never did ask him until much later, okay, I know you're not drinking all that coffee. What are you there for? And he was.
Yeah.
He was getting his character ideas, and I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
But now I was honest with you. I have not read your Wonderland series. I jumped right to the High Priestess. I got about half of it done, and it was not what I anticipated. As a person who's not used to reading historical fantasy
And fiction, yes.
and medieval times, I was not interested in that genre, but I felt it was only fair to be able to read a few pages just to see what kind of writer you were. And everything's clear. And like I said, I hadn't even got to what you call the juicy part yet. I had got right in the middle of it, but your writing flows fluently. Your description is not overly, described, and yet you feel like you are the character. Isn't that what you said in the book? Somebody said
I do.
Once they read your book, they feel like they're the character in the book moving around.
I think it's more like you put yourself there, you place yourself there, and it's like a mini movie all around you. I look at it as a movie, as I watched many movies in my life, and that's where I get a lot of my inspiration, is TV and series, and I just work around that.
One of the people who made a comment on one of your books said that they thought it would make a great movie.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And naturally, you have all this action, you have all this going on, so yeah, it would. Well, would you believe we have 2 minutes left in the show already?
Wow, that was
I'm
fast.
telling you, once we get everything going, it goes fast. Lory, in our closing out the show, and you're visiting in Lafayette, Louisiana, which is southwest Louisiana, Acadiana, Cajun land. What will you be missing the most when you leave here?
Oh, I think the hospitality.
Yeah.
I think the people are just so great, and getting invites to go to stay at people's homes and that you've just met, and I don't know.
Isn't
I
it
think
amazing? I
it is
know,
amazing,
huh?
and I think it's really sweet. I love the bayou, and I love the swamps. Those crocs were just looking at us, and that was so cool. But yeah, I think it would be the hospitality.
Well, then you just answered exactly what most people answer. They either leave or they don't leave, see what I mean? Or they come back real soon.
That's right.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on the show. And Lory, we definitely
Well,
want
thank you.
people to understand that if they are interested, they can check out your website to get more information on the books that you have published already. Possibly go visit you wherever they're at. Well, in their case, not many people can go to Canada.
No.
But check out our website for more information and find out when that next book, September 8th,
That's right.
is coming out, and if they can get that information if they check out your website also.
Absolutely, and I'm also on Facebook and everywhere else, social media.
That's it, that's
Yes.
it. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming in today, because I'm here to tell you that I really believe that you will be back, and I think that we will continue
Yes.
networking with each other, and you just never know. Even though you're in Canada, we can still help each other get that
Absolutely.
information out there.
Absolutely.
And so with your coming in here, now we know that we have another author, and she has friends here, and she came to visit with us, and she's been on Louisiana Heartbeats today. So thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for coming in.
You're welcome.
And
Thank you.
I hope and pray that you have a great trip leaving, safe, getting home.
Oh, yes.
And thanks for bringing your son here. And so I want to remind everybody that we have now, the show is showing on a new night every Monday night at 9 o'clock on Channel 16. You know what? It just might be you we're showcasing. If you like what you see here and you hear, then check out the websites to get more information about our guests. If you would like to be on the show, then all you have to do is call AOC and they'll get in contact with me. Thank you for watching. Until next week. Yes, we're on every Monday night at 9 p.m. But today we had Lory, and she was visiting from Canada, and I'm going to ask you to say your name again.
Lory La Selva Paduano.
And she's really got that Canadian accent. She's full-blooded Italian. I mean, she's got the whole package. And we've had a good time, and I hope you've enjoyed. Just stay here and continue. When are you going to be leaving?
I'm leaving Friday morning.
Friday morning. Tick-tock, tick-tock, huh?
Yes, it's ticking.
Well, I want you to keep in touch with us.
We
and
will.
Thank you.
We will.
Thank you, Katie Anna, and we'll talk to you later.
Thank you.